Hi, my name is Jess, and I have a deep passion for self discovery, self growth, self healing, and self care combined with self love, but I believe both go hand in hand. I have a deep passion for all of those selves. Um, and I like to incorporate certain tools that are probably not the norm but have resonated the most to me. And I like to use spirituality or spiritual practices, astrology, and healthy living to work with or achieve or show up to those selves. So I like to combine those, the self-love, the self-healing, the self-discovery, the self-growth. I like to achieve those things through spiritual practices, astrology, and healthy living. So I believe that you know there are multiple ways to achieve, obviously self-love and self-growth, like psychology, and some people like reading books, and everyone has their different ways of doing things, but I've always just really resonated with spirituality, spiritual living, intuitive living, connecting to your intuition, leading with your intuition, being more spiritually connected. And astrology I love so much, and I have had more than enough experiences personally and with others that show me that this astrology thing is no joke, and healthy living. I have not always been the most healthy person. I still am not like 100% healthy. No one's perfect, of course. But I kind of had to become healthier than I used to be due to like health reasons. One of the things is I discovered that I had a gluten intolerance, so I was not fully allergic to gluten, but I had a sensitivity to gluten. So I had to get rid of that. Now I'm gluten free. Then I discovered I had an allergy. And so I have a peanut and tree nut allergy. So I had to give up anything that has to that's made with that. And then to top it off, and this was my own choice, but I decided to cut out all meat and dairy in my life and become plant-based. I used to say vegan, but I don't like to say vegan because I still eat honey, and I'm not also super particular about the products I use. And sometimes with the certain communities, it can be overly like it can be like they can be very specific on you using certain titles and not actually doing exactly. So I now call myself plant-based. So that's my lifestyle as far as food and diet and health. I also really resonate with holistic living. So I really like to try to, the body is a self-healer. So I try to heal my body and help to heal my body by giving it the things that it needs, like the proper nutrition, the proper care as far as, going exercising and all the stuff like that. Even like spiritual care and stuff, getting my I like to love getting like energy healings and everything like that. So yeah, I do that, but I also know that everything in life is better with balance. So obviously I like to combine that with still, getting my regular doctor checkups, and obviously going to the doctor if I really needed something, but so balancing that. But I always like to try to heal the body first. I just really resonate with holistic healing first, and then if that doesn't work, then obviously um taking it over to the professionals per se. So yeah, that is kind of my whole I guess in not to be corny, but in honor of the topic we're going to be talking about, which is the new moon in Taurus that we just had. Those are my values. I really value those things that I just mentioned, all of that. And the last thing, I mean, I have so many values and we'll get into that, but my last big value that I really want to start prioritizing, which is very in tune with this new moon in Taurus that just happened, is planting the seed of really being intentional about creating long-term connections with like-minded souls, specifically women, because I don't know, I think we're all kind of going into this time, unfortunately in this like time and day and age, a lot of women feel more comfortable. Well, I feel like it's always been like that, but it's starting to really become like just women wanting to gather around each other and feel more comfortable in, like, I guess more like feminine energy. Or I don't even want to say feminine because there's balance, and I wouldn't say like I'm like super a feminine woman. I feel like actually I'm more masculine than feminine. I want to actually tap more into my femininity. I may appear feminine, and like as far as aesthetically I'm feminine, but I feel like I have a lot more masculine traits that I actually I just got an energy healing a while back ago, like a couple of days ago, and the intuitive practitioner told me that I have too much masculine going on, and I have an imbalance with my masculine and feminine energies, which that's always the case. That's a bunch of like that results to childhood stuff and everything like that. Me having to always be that like present that masculine energy, be the protector, be the blah blah. Anyways, long story. So I just want to connect with women who share the same values as me, and so that's pretty much what I just kind of explained. And it's like women who are more spiritually connected and really love to, or are on their own journeys, healing journeys, spiritual journeys, wanting to use the tools of life, the tools that were provided to us in life to better ourselves, so we can then use that to have a better life, a actually happier life, a more fulfilling and meaningful life. So that's the long intro of who I am. Also, of course, I mean, I've said my big three a lot, but if anyone's wondering and this is your first time, first off, guess, what am I giving? What Pisces am I giving by this right here? This should tell you guys. Did I just say Pisces? I just told you guys. Wow, that's awkward. Okay, I'm a Pisces rising. I'm an Aquarius sun, and I am an Aries moon. So, yeah. All right, so I'm going to I've tried my hardest to do like sit down videos and podcasts. This is probably like my 1000th attempt to like actually create a consistent podcast kind of type of video, and more so like series, because I really love, if I were to ask myself like what do I love and be honest, I really love talking, okay? But I love not just talking, but I love like engaging in conversations with people. So this is kind of like me showing up here is opening the discussion and creating an opening for an open discussion, perhaps, and I want to do that through sharing my experience throughout my spiritual journey, my experience astrologically, like how did my personal experience of different astrological energies or transits, what I've learned on my spiritual journeys, what I've learned on my health journeys, just kind of like not gatekeeping nothing, not keeping anything, sharing everything that I've learned, because that is my interpretation of living. You know, I lived through these things personally, and I, especially being a person who literally feels like their purpose in life is to help people, which I think is a common thing for any Aquarius or Pisces kind of people, but Aquarius definitely, and Pisces too. But anyways, I know personally I just like to do that. I mean, that's like literally why I feel like why I'm here. So it's like, you know, I have a tendency to overthink my the way I communicate. I'm very insecure when it comes to my communication, to be honest, because I overthink everything. And speaking of, remember how I said I had an energy healing a couple of days ago? Well, in the energy healing, the lady said that I need to start trusting myself more, you know, and so anyways, I'm going too deep into everything. We're going to get into everything. So this is me showing up today is trusting myself. I asked myself, what video do I want to make today? And the first thing that came up was sharing my experience of this Taurus New Moon, just to hopefully have it, you know, open a discussion for others to share their experiences, and we can kind of see like the similarities and everything like that, and also, you know, share certain insights and all this stuff like that, you know, and be on this like new, I just feel that's what I want to do, and just to show how the magic of astrology and spirituality and it all combined. So anyways, that's a long intro. So yeah, let's get started. So I want to break down so wait. So I just want to make sure, I hope I'm clear of what the purpose of this is going to be. This is going to be a series that I do. I think I'm going to call it Spiritual Girl Talks or Spiritual Women Talks, where I sit down and share my experiences, whether it's some spirit experiences throughout my spiritual journey, healing journey, astrology experiences, or health. So yeah, okay. So first things first, since we're going to be talking about the Taurus New Moon, I want to first kind of, because I've been getting downloads, which I say is pretty much whenever I'm like not doing anything and I'm starting to, I get like things, like ideas in my mind, and it's like, and I feel like I have to write it down because it's so potent, I guess. It's so like, oh my gosh, like a lot, it's like a flood of energy. It's like somebody turned on the hose and there's just stuff going on in my mind. So I'm like, okay, now throughout my spiritual journey, when I've experienced that feeling of like a flood of downloads of me having a lot of thoughts, I immediately have to write it down, because I'm like, that's something important. So I was having a lot of thoughts about the moon itself and the new moon and what it all really means, and the best way that I've learned to understand it. So first off, we're gonna talk first before we dissect and go into the Taurus New Moon and my experiences and lessons and insights and how we're feeling now and blah blah blah. I feel like, okay, let me just share my little understanding of the moon and the new moon. So the moon itself. So the moon changes sign. So first off, when we talk about the moon in astrology, there's two moons. The first moon is the moon that we were born into, our astrological moon sign, or our natal chart moon, our natal moon. So the moon that's on your astrology chart. I'm an Aries moon. I was born on an Aries moon. I'm an Aries moon. But then we have the transiting moon, which is the moon that is changing signs every couple days. Okay? So I don't know if you guys know, but we have our astrology charts, but that was the moment. Literally, astrology charts are like a snapshot. It's like someone took a picture, click, click, at the exact moment you were born. But But just also knowing that the planets are always moving. Energy is always changing. I mean, that's life. We're not just stuck in one event, you know? So yeah, so it's pretty much astrology. Real astrology is learning about yourself, which is your astrology chart, but also learning how to combine that with understanding the collective energy, which is the current energy of the world, which is where the planets are and how it's impacting us on an individual and collective way. So if you're able to understand your birth chart and yourself or your astrology chart, and you also learn to understand what the collective energy is saying, then you're able to kind of use that as like a cheat code to understanding whatever lesson in your life at this moment that you need, okay? So, and obviously it's going to be different for each other, for ourselves, because we all have like different astrology charts. So anyways, that's what I learned. So yeah, so we have our natal moon and we have the transiting moon, which changes signs every 2 to 3 days. So with the transiting moon, we get to experience the characteristics of whatever sign that the transiting moon is in. Okay? So for example, the Taurus moon. So when the moon was in Taurus, we got to imagine our feelings being colored with or being influenced by Taurus energy. Okay? So we got to feel what it feels like for somebody with the Taurus moon. So imagine someone with a Taurus moon, we got to feel what that feels like, you know, because that's what the current energy was. That's what the current energy of the moon was. And the moon connects to our emotions and to our body, okay? So it impacts how we feel physically and emotionally. So yeah, so that's why one of the terms that I heard from somewhere on Instagram or social media or somewhere, that like the moon transits is like you can look at it like the daily weather. Like, okay, today the moon is in this sign, so that means that I'm gonna probably be feeling da 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 XYZ, you know? And you're gonna be feeling the characteristics of the sign that the moon is in. So yeah, I wanted to break that down, okay? And then another thing is, and then also understanding that you can also know, okay, so the moon is in Taurus. How does the transiting moon connect with my natal moon? Are they compatible or are they not? And if they're compatible, that means that you're going to flow really well, those feelings are going to be familiar to you. Like you're pretty much going to have most likely you're going to not have, I mean, it's going to be like a more easier day for you, you know, because you are not conflicted in your emotions, because the moon your natal moon and the transiting moon are in harmony. So it's not going to be like a confliction of emotions. But if the sign is not is not compatible with your natal moon, then you're probably gonna experience some discomfort, some maybe irritation, some confliction of emotions and stuff like that. It's not gonna be as easy for you because the transiting moon is making you feel something that you're not used to, kind of thing, or a different kind of emotion that's outside of or not comfortable for you. So it's challenging you in a way, but that challenge is good, okay? So once again, imagine if we didn't know any of this, which most people don't. And so you may wake up and you may be feeling conflicted, or you may be angry today and you don't know why, you know, or you may be really sad and your emotions are or you may feel all over the place, which has happened to me a lot of the times. And then when I look at the astrology, I'm like, oh, that's because da 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 da. Okay, makes sense. So this is why astrology is like so great to use as a tool, because it helps you understand more of what you're feeling and why, and then so you can better work through it. rather than you not having that tool. And which is fine, but people like me like to know, like I like to deep dive. I like to question everything. Why am I feeling? I want to understand life on the most deepest level. So that's why I'm drawn to astrology and that stuff. Like for instance, my boyfriend is like what most would be like the collective people. Like, well, at least my boyfriend is not really, he understands it and he knows it, but he chooses not to live. Like, he wants to just be able to live his life and not know, and not, he doesn't really care to know the deeper whatever, and he wants to do it in his way, on his terms and stuff like that. So there are people who just want to live life, and that's totally fine. And there's people like me who wants to dissect life and understand every freaking detail about it and go deep, So yeah. And then if there's tools and cheat codes per se that'll help us, like, anyways. So yeah, that is the moon and the transiting moon. So also I kind of want to say that you don't have to follow this, because no matter if you keep track of the transits or not, they're going to impact you, so it doesn't really matter if you use it or you don't. It'll just be, if you want to use the energy to your benefit, if you want to get the most benefits or understanding of the transits, to learn, to grow, to heal, to become more self-aware, to discover stuff about yourself, even to give yourself the needed self-care that you may need at that time, depending on the current transiting moon, then it's a helpful tool. Okay, so then we go into the new moon. So then the new moon is different, because the new moon is like a reset in the area of your life that it is transiting through. So the area of your chart, whatever house that is transiting through in your chart, is a reset of something going on there, or the reset of your maybe emotional and or your needs, whatever it is. So, but we'll get into that. So once again, it's also really good to work with new moons. You don't have to, but it's great. That's why people do like new moon rituals and full moon rituals, because the new moons and the full moons, especially new moons, are very, very, like, really the energy, they present a good energy for manifesting. Okay, so it's good to like really set your intentions or set your wishes and write them down. Write down in that moment what you want in that moment, or during the new moon. Write it down, because writing it down just makes it more like, it's better when manifesting if you write it down. And you just create your wishes, and it's like, and it just, the energy of the full moon is just really, really, I guess, like, potent. Or there's just, I maybe need to learn more about, like, exactly, like, to explain the deep dives into why the full moon, but energetically, it's just really, really, really a good time to manifest. And then it's the new moon. The purpose is it to create some new things in your life. So if you're thinking about new moons, and also the moon has to do with like manifesting too, because it's your feelings. And it's kind of like, if you feel something, that's why one of the best things about manifesting is, like, they always say, like, when you're manifesting, focus on how you want to feel, focus more on how you want to feel rather than the result that you're trying to achieve. Because you can manifest feelings so easily. That's why they say, like, people, if you like believe and you believe, like, when you want something in life, start acting like you already have it. Like, live the life, or live like you already have that thing. Feel good like you already have it, like it's already there, and whatever kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, because manifestation comes from that feeling. When you feel like you have it, then energetically you create that reality, So it's just the power of the new moon and stuff like that. So hopefully all that makes sense. So the point is, you don't have to work with the new moons, but if you want to manifest something, if you want to start something, if you want just it's just great to make a wish on something that you want to happen, or multiple things that you want to happen. But also something that I was thinking about was because of something that someone said in a group meeting I had, that I'll talk about a little bit later, is like one of the girls were saying how she doesn't really keep up with the new and full moons because they're always changing, and it's like, how do you keep up with all of that and also keep up with your intentions and blah 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 blah. And I totally understood her, and that's how I used to be, but also this thing is what I thought of, and I'm like, maybe this will be helpful. So also understanding that whenever there's a new moon, you do not have, like, imagine you didn't know anything about astrology or anything about new moons or full moons or anything like that. Know that still the new moon will impact you. Like, because astrology just happens, it's like, once again, astrology is still going to be astrologing. It's still going to be impacting you. It's still going to be like, whether you believe it or not. So energetically, and this is the magic and the amazingness of astrology, is like, even if you're not following the new moon and full moons or anything, you are just going to happen to, because of the current energy, experience things in your life or feelings in your life that is going to cause you to want to make a change around the time of the new moon. You are going to experience events and things that create that causes that change, that new beginning, that reset in how you feel about the things that wherever Taurus is in your chart, okay? So it's gonna happen to you regardless if you're conscious of, ooh, it's a new moon or full moon. But if you want to be intentional and you want to actually work with it, and you want to start something in that area of your life, then it is a great idea to actually be intentional and work with it. And that's when you do your new moon, set your new moon intentions, and you actually do your rituals, and you actually decide, oh, you know what, let me do some good things that, you should do on new moons. Like, well, yeah, setting your intentions, writing out lists, thinking about what you want to manifest in that area of your life. Because the more you work with the energy, the more you're likely to get it. Because you're being intentional about it. Anytime you're being intentional about anything in life, you're setting the energy towards that even more for it to happen. So I hope I explained that right. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. The energy. I'm just making sure I have like a little list. So I hope everyone understands that. Let me take a sip of my tea. So the base is astrology is going to be astrology or moving or still doing what it does, regardless if you work with energy or not, or if you're aware of it or not. It just is helpful if you do know, because then you know how to work with it better, and you can set that intention. Therefore, you can, what would you call it? I guess you can make whatever you are setting the intention on happen quicker. There we go. Okay, so the next thing is we're going to talk about my experience of the new moon. If you want more of a deep dive into what the new moon, Taurus new moon is, then I will leave a link. I did a video going into a deep dive about what does the Taurus new moon mean, what is it, blah blah blah. But hopefully we kind of know by now, the simplest way put is, it's a new beginning, a reset, a fresh start in the area of our lives in the area of our charts, aka whatever house that Taurus is ruling in our charts, that is where this new reset is happening. And because it's connecting, it's the moon, it's going to be, we're going to be experiencing feelings, emotions that are going to offset this new beginning, okay? Or also another way you can think of it is like you're setting a reset, or you're doing something new to create a certain to create a feeling which ties to the feeling of the Taurus, if that makes sense. So it's like whatever reset that you're doing is making you want to it will make you actually, yeah, I'm gonna go with the first one. Or no. Okay. So yeah, whatever reset that is happening in that area of your life that Taurus is ruling, it's gonna make you want to experience feelings of feeling connected to your values, which has to do with Taurus. Okay, so it's like you're gonna be experiencing feelings that new feelings, new things, and a reset that has to do with that has a Taurus moon filter that is aligned with the feelings of Taurus, but it's happening in that area of your chart. So I don't know if I explained that right. I just felt like I'm just like that kind of. Hopefully you got that. But anyways, I'm going to tell you about my experience, and hopefully you can understand a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to break it down. Actually, I need to go get my book because I want to see when was the exact day that the Taurus New Moon started. Actually, I do know. Okay, so the Taurus New Moon started. You know what? Let me check something really quick just to be sure. Hold on. Okay, so I had to double check to make sure. So the new moon in Taurus happened at 11:22 p.m. Eastern time. So it happened on what was it? Tuesday? Yeah, it happened on Tuesday, March 7th. Sorry, it happened on Tuesday, March 7th at 11:22 p.m. Eastern time. But you could still feel the energy, like the energy was still present the day before. It's like you could still work with the new moon. I think even up until like 1 or 2 days before the new moon, because you're getting to feel that energy. But whatever. The point is, I'm gonna start off by explaining what happened on the 7th, and then I'm going to explain everything that happened in my life from the 7th up until yesterday when the moon entered. Yeah, up until yesterday. Up until yesterday at 4:20 p.m. But that's Pacific time. Up until yesterday at 7:20 p.m. Eastern time, because that's when the moon changed signs. And changed into Gemini. Okay, so I hope all that makes sense. All right, so on May 7th. Okay, so May 7th was probably one of the most important date for me personally this year. I have been for the past year. I have been, and really over a year, but let's just say for the past year, I have been working on creating my first ever business. And it stems from me first wanting to not work under someone, you know? I used to be a full-time I was never a full-time, but I used to my main job used to be a full-time content creator. I have another channel if you want to check it out. I've been keeping it a secret for a while, but at this point I don't really care, you know. But I had a channel called Just Creations with 2 S's, and that was me doing it was all beauty related, like natural hair, natural curly hair, and stuff like that. That popped off. I did that for a good 8 years, and I was really doing well there. I was doing well in it. I was making consistent money through ads. I was working with brands, getting paid by that, and other stuff like that. But then when I was doing that, I was still working a part-time job. I was a babysitter. So I was doing that for a good while up until the pandemic happened. And then when the pandemic happened, I eventually lost the babysitting job, or I had to let it go because the parents were at home and they didn't really need me for that long, and my hours were getting cut. So then I thought, oh, okay, then I could do a full-time. I'll try to become a full-time creator. But then that was around the time that I was experiencing my Saturn return. And I only say that because I went through a whole identity crisis around the time when I decided that I wanted to let go of my side income. And it just happened. It wasn't it just happened. I just was no longer interested in creating beauty related videos. I wanted to go deeper. My soul was calling for me to do something deeper than that. And I really always enjoyed I've always said I want to be able to sit down in my videos and just talk, and people like that. People want more of that. It helps people, you know. Oopsies, I didn't even turn my microphone back on, so sorry for that change in audio. But yeah, I've always said I want to be able to give advice. I have so much advice to give, even though at that time I was so young and hadn't even been through nearly as much things as I've been through now. But I always loved reading, and I loved self-help books, and I love learning, and I used to really love psychology today and just learning about the human mind and self-help. And I actually was really I ended up going to college, but I didn't finish because my YouTube channel blew up, to be honest. And I was like, well, might as well ride this wave. But I started off, my major was fashion design. I wanted to be a fashion designer. Then I realized, I don't really have a passion for doing that. I just enjoy doing it. It's like a hobby. So then I was like, what is something? Then I realized at that time when I was on the commute to my art school about to be majoring in fashion design, I will always read books about self-help and psychology and stuff like that. So I'm like, what do I spend most of my time doing? And that's really learning about psychology. So why am I in this fashion design I have to be real with myself. So then I decided to change my major to psychology. But then like I said, the YouTube channel popped off, so I just stuck with that. So it's just really funny to even think about how I left that off on that, even though that's what I really wanted to do. But because naturally I'm as good at, just beauty and fashion and just creativity in that sense, because I was doing creative hairstyles and all this stuff like that. It just popped off. So I kind of just rode that wave, not knowing that, hey, that wanting something deeper than the surface level kind of thing or beauty was going to come back around and smack me in my face with the whole self-identity crisis. How life is, and I never even really made this connection. I'm just thinking about it right now. So yeah, so then that whole feeling of okay, this is fun, but this is not a passion. It's a hobby, it's something that I'm good at, but I want something more. I want to help people on a deeper level than just exterior. So then I tried to change my videos to that, and then I realized that I had built at the time over 100K followers, and and a total combined, so I tried to change my channel, and mind you, YouTube was the only thing that I had at that time because I had decided to let go of the babysitting job. So I tried to change my videos to what I wanted to do more. I wanted to do more sit down talking videos, and those videos did not get that many views at all. My views just plummeted. And I obviously felt the insecure part about it was dang, no one wants to listen to me talk. People don't think that I am valuable. My words are valuable. Okay. And this is something, but I felt passionate, but it's just, I guess, because I had created an audience that really just they subscribed for my beauty videos. They subscribed to see hairstyles and hair care and all that. So people wouldn't even give the video a chance if it wasn't that. So that obviously, impacted me, but really it impacted the money that I was making. So then I realized, oh, wow, okay, I'm gonna need to get another source of income. I don't even know if I'm happy with this channel. I don't even know if I want to do YouTube anymore, because I'm also the type of person that I don't care about money. I'd rather just leave the thing. So it's like, oh, I can't actually be my authentic self here. Then I'm actually just going to leave, and do something else, because I'm not ever going to surrender who I am just for some money. Like, I would not be personally fulfilled by that. And so it took a while for me to really come to that conclusion, but I ended up, looking for a job, which was not normal for me at the time, which I feel like is very maybe a privileged thing to say, because I have been making my own, running my own kind of business in a sense, because I was doing the YouTube and I was creating my own schedules, creating my own videos, getting paid by that. And even with the babysitting thing, I wasn't really working under anyone. I would tell, the families that I was working for, my availability and my rate and everything like that. So I was very much still in charge of everything. But then me going back into the workforce, because I had jobs when I was in college, multiple. But it was just kind of a humbling thing, and also exciting at the time, because it was something I had been used to working at home for so long. I really wanted to be out in community, and plus it was towards the ending of the pandemic. So yeah, even as a homebody, I was getting tired of being at home. So so anyways, long story short, without going into too much detail, I ended up working at this metaphysical spiritual store that offer all things spiritual tools, tarot cards, crystals, candles, books, all the stuff, everything. Then it offers services like readings and energy healing, chakra balancing, Reiki, past life regression. Then there was classes like meditation, sound baths, just women's circles, which is the first time I ever heard about women's circles, and that inspired me to want to do my own till this day. But yeah, so I ended up doing that. I'm starting to get confused as to why I'm telling you guys my whole life story when I'm supposed to be talking about... Why am I telling you? Why did I start telling you guys this? I feel like I'm always sharing my life story. I feel like it matters for you guys to understand. What was that? Why was I saying that? Oh, that makes me really sad to know. I don't even remember why I was saying that. There was a purpose. Oh yeah, the idea where this whole idea of this starting my own business came from. So yeah, the point is, I worked at that place, loved it, but then ended up hating it and only stayed there for a year. I loved the experiences and all of what I learned there, and that job caused me to learn, connect to spirituality and reconnect to astrology, and it's the reason why I'm here today. So I'm gonna give it credit to that. But there was a lot of drama within that place, which would be surprising, because you would think that, a spiritual place, everybody should be all healed and love and light. That's what I thought. But apparently people who are in the spiritual community, there's a lot of people who outwardly talk about spirituality, or who are maybe just gifted but don't apply it. They don't apply it. So then you got a lot of unhealed healers per se, and that's a whole nother thing. So anyways, there was drama, and I just couldn't. It was weighing on my mental health. I was underpaid, I felt, and it was just I was a social media marketer there. Because, I was just like, hey, why not try to use what I've done to build my following and use it to help build a actual business. I learned a lot about the business, behind the business scene, stuff I didn't know, because I was more of a creative person, and that helped me even till today, so life is interesting. But the point is, I learned through all of that especially at the end of working that job, that I am not meant to work under somebody. Much respect. This is not a one way is the right way. You have to be honest with yourself. There are some people, for instance, I think my boyfriend, even though I feel like my boyfriend wants to be able to, have his own business and work free, but I do think that he likes the security of working, going to a 9 to 5 and knowing that you're going to get paid and have your benefits. And I see all the benefits of that. But for me, I'm too much of a, I don't even know what you would call it. Like, I don't want to say free spirit, but I just don't do well working under other people. Like, and I'm a creative, so I have to have that freedom to work under my own terms, if that makes sense. And I'm able to do that. I'm okay I'm just able to do it. So I decided that I needed to create my own. I need to figure out what I'm going to, like, how am I going to create my own business? And for me, I could have done it when I was doing that. I was doing the whole YouTube channel, and people will always tell me, like, you have over 100K followers. Why are you not selling something? Like, people always try to get me to sell stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to sell. And I'm not the kind of person that's just going to create something just for money. Like, I have never been money motivated, which is been a good thing, but also cut me in the butt because I've been too I've been too lax about money, which, I have to be more, I have to not put money such on a back burner because we need money, unfortunately, to live the lives that we want in this world. Money creates freedom, so yeah, the point is, I never knew, even with the 100K following, and if I would have sold something, I had pretty loyal followers at that time, and they probably would have bought it. But then I was like, I don't want to just sell something just because I know I should, because I have this following. Like, I never felt passionate about something enough to, like, want to sell it, or I never even had an idea. But then fast forward until the last, like, everything happened. I'm not even going to go into what happened, but I ended up leaving that channel. I ended up leaving the metaphysical job, and I really dove deep into my spirituality and astrology. And I started incorporating that into my daily life, started documenting the things that I would see, the connections, the insights, and everything like that, which I'm gonna, like, start showing more on this channel. But yeah, I realized that this stuff is, like, no joke, and it's like, it can really, really, if you resonate with that you can really create the life of your dreams, like, seriously, which I'm doing at this moment, so it's like, so yeah, so I decided that's what I want to do, and I want to. Oh, you know what? That idea kind of did start when I was working at the metaphysical store. Because I saw the women's group, and I would see, like, how, like, I was like, I want that. Like, I would love, like, I could see myself. I always said I could see myself hosting women groups and women's circles. And I was like, I want to do that. So I don't want to sell a product. I want to be able to sell an experience. Because for me, I would buy or spend money on an experience rather than a product, because the experience for me is more. Okay, and we're back. I had to take a little small break because I needed to make some space on my SD card because the space got full. Plus, I realized, well, I'm working with natural lighting here. So, is it focused? Yeah, I'm working with natural lighting. So today is a stormy day, and it's rainy and stormy. So it was when it was dark, that's because there was a storm happening. And now it passed through. So now I realized that in the video, the lighting has been all over the place. I loved the dark vibes. So I closed my blinds to kind of emulate that as best as I can, but it's not as dark. It's okay. It's fine. Also, I was looking back at the footage. It's not a big deal, okay, guys. But I was just like, oh, my stomach, like, the cut of this was looking really weird. And I just, bless our hearts as women. We always are just self-critiquing our physical appearance too much, Grace, giving myself grace. And all the other women out there, I know. But anyways, so yeah. So I believe what I was saying was, I finally, last year around April, I finally decided, or I finally came up with my own plan, or had something that I knew, like, I finally realized something that I could create a business around, a way, aka a way to make my own income, like entrepreneurially, become that entrepreneur, be my own boss, but also be able to combine the purpose I believe is what's my purpose in life, and that's helping people on a deeper level. At first, I thought it was a psychological, or like, that kind of psychology base, which I still have so much respect for psychology. I always say that I would be open to going back later on in my life, just because I want to be able to get the knowledge. And I had met someone through, I had asked the practitioners there if they knew of anybody that combined, or if it was possible to combine spirituality and psychology. And apparently there's a lot of people who do that. And I think that's so freaking amazing. Like, I would love to have that added knowledge. And because what I like to do is combine everything. I'm not a this or that person. I'm very much a, like, more like, and we can do this, we can add this and that and this and that and some of this and some of that, to develop, to create internal happiness, to create life of fulfillment and health and joy and pleasure. And Taurus energy, baby, that's like living. Taurus, I've learned, is like what do you call it? It's the tangible things in life. It's our basic needs to, like, survive and enjoy our life. Like, it's an earth sign, so it's like actual things on earth, our homes, what we have in the homes, what we do, on a day-to-day to survive, how we make our money. Obviously, what do we need? We need money to survive. We need food. We need to feel, to be able to live long. You have to live a pleasure, like, you have to experience happiness, or things happen. It's just kind of like, if you want a long life of pleasure, you have to kind of figure out how you can do that. What can you do for work that will make you enjoy your life and find some pleasure and some joy? What can you do in your daily rituals, your daily routines, your daily habits that help you be able to live a long and pleasurable life, and everything like that? That is Taurus on a basics term. Because Taurus rules the second house. First house is your body. Second house is what do you do with that body? Like, where do you live? How do you create this life for yourself? So how you make your money, all of that, your assets, your values. What do you value in life? What are your values? Because your values is it's going to shape the way that you live, and it's also going to shape the people that you surround yourself with when you grow up. But sometimes, a lot of the times, and people who are on, more like us, who are more spiritual and on this journey, have realized we had to undo a lot of those old values that unfortunately we I wanted to say fell victim to. But yeah, we were young, so we maybe had some adapted some values that currently aren't resonant, but was from childhood or parents or schooling or society, and we had to kind of reverse that. So and develop our own values, and claim that, like, what feels right to us, not because of someone telling us, because it just feels right and it feels resonant. So anyways, once again, I'm still going off on a tangent. I decided that that's where last year in April, I created or came up with the idea to do Healthy Girl Healing. Okay. And so I wrote out a whole business plan, and that's where everything happens and started. And that was also, ironically, if I look back, that was around the time where Jupiter entered into Taurus, which is in my 3rd house. Okay, we're gonna get to it. We're almost to the point of this video. Oh wait, oh man, hold on. I'm supposed to be. Oh, actually. Okay, I think I'm fine. I'm trying to make sure I stay on track. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so that's why I kind of was, what was I saying, the new business? I was trying to figure out where was I going. Oh yeah. Okay, so on May 7th, it was the most important day of this year because it was going to be the day that I started Healthy Girl Healing. Well, it was going to be the first Healthy Girl Healing meetup or circle or spiritual women's group, however you want to call it. Yeah, and it's gonna be, if you guys don't know, or if any of you guys are new, it's literally it's for us to meet up, like women who share similar values, who are on a similar journey. Literally, everything that I said in this intro is for those kind of women who want to come together and share our experiences and our stories and our lessons and our insights together to help empower each other on our journeys of creating this internal happiness, to create this dream life for ourselves, to be a guide, and someone to kind of make us feel understood on our journeys, of this like healing journeys, becoming more spiritually connected, growing ourselves, because that's not easy. Like there's a lot of like this aesthetic of spirituality, and it looks all beautiful and sunshine and rainbows, and it can be, but a lot of times, especially in the beginning parts, and when you get through, it's dark, it's lonely, it's hard, it's confusing, so many things. And one of the best things that got me through that was having someone to talk to through it. And it was actually one of the intuitive practitioners that I got connected to, that I even stayed in connection to even after I left the metaphysical store, which thank goodness for her, because to be honestly, if it wasn't for her, I probably would not have continued with this whole spiritual journey, because of a lot of things, because of misinformation I've seen on the internet, which is like, I have to really, really give thank you to God for, and I say God because that's who I resonate with or identify with, like that resonates with me as far as like a higher power. But when I say that doesn't mean that you can't have your own like higher power. Everybody, I feel like you say whatever resonates for us in the form of a higher power is what you're free to use. I just use God. Sometimes I say spirit, sometimes source. But if like change that word to whatever resonates with you. But I just thank God for allowing me to learn from actual people who know what they're talking about. And not to say this in a mean way, but there's so much misinformation. And it's great that there's so much information out there, but it's dangerous because you have to really, really be careful and really, really have to know like whose information is valid and who's just feeding you a bunch of BS so they can get your coins, kind of thing. So I'm happy that I had the knowledge from people, like actual intuitive practitioners that have been doing the work. And at least her, there were some in there that weren't, and that's a whole nother story. But her, I just liked her because she's legit. Like she was born gifted, intuitively gifted, but she also decided to go and get her doctor's degree and like other stuff that helped her be able to do her practice in a way that was professional but still able to like help people. And she's just amazing. I call her an angel on earth because she literally is like that. So anyways, so yeah, so that's what I decided. So on May 7th it was the day that I was starting the first Healthy Girl Healing meetup virtually, because I want these things to start virtually. I also want it to be a place where we can make friends and we can talk about our astrology charts and connect with each other through spiritual practices, astrology, all of the self-growth, self-healing, everything, we can connect and do it on, with each other. And I thought it would be a great day to start on the new moon in Taurus, which is in my third house, which is about what? Communication, daily rituals, people that you see on a day-to-day basis, like close relatives, and relatives don't have to be like blood. It can be actual like people who are just really close to you, like a sisterhood. See? So and with it being in Taurus, it was all about like values, connecting, communicating with people who share your values. Taurus is also about like the Venus rules Taurus. The ruler of Taurus is Venus, which is all about what? Beauty, connections, love, women. So that's another thing, like women getting together, being in that feminine energy, and that like women. And both, I had, we'll go into, okay. But let's just say the women that was there, they were gorgeous. And it doesn't mean like every woman is gorgeous in their own ways, in different ways. So I'm going to be biased. I'm going to think all women, because I believe we all are. Who defines what gorgeous is? You, honey, okay? And you're gorgeous. But, and yeah, Taurus also has to do with, like daily rituals. So like I said, the whole purpose of it is to at least for me, I was pretty much saying like, what new things do we want to start on this new moon, and how we're gonna be consistently, like what seed are we planting, because Taurus is all about planting seeds. Like it's creating something and sticking to it, doing something, working at something, starting a job and sticking to it, and doing the things every day to grow it, and being on that consistency, reliability. Taurus is literally the most, I won't say the most reliable, but very, very reliable. And it also has the ability to kind of play in the long run, because it will continue to show up for those things. But it also is because it's really rigid too. It's set in its own way. So once it sets its mind to something, it literally like sinks into that, like sinking its heel, like being like literally, like I said, when you plant something, it grows roots and it gets really grounded into the ground. So therefore it's like it has no way but to grow up, But it also, Taurus can struggle with change, and because you kind of get comfortable in that plant that you have grown, So, which is another. There's so many things, So, anyways, so that's the point, There you see the connections, okay? All right. So let me talk about the day, because I feel like I'm just ranting. I hope all of this is helpful for you guys in some way or resonant. So yeah, the first day, so the day of May 7th, the day that I had the first Healthy Girl Healing meetup. So I had an energy healing in the morning with the intuitive practitioners that I told you guys that I keep in touch with. Craziest timing. I've been trying to link up with her or get an energy healing with her for a while. She messaged me, I think a month back, and I had asked her if or we had mentioned about getting it. I told her I wanted an energy healing, and at the time that I messaged her, she said that it didn't feel like the right time, because she's connected. Okay, that woman is connected. Literally, like, I feel like I'm connected spiritually into, I'm a vessel here to, like, share my knowledge and spread, healing and spirituality and all this stuff like that. But I'm new, so she's been doing this for years. She's like the OG, so she's very like connected. So whenever she makes any decision, like, and she works with certain clients, she gets guidance on like, is this a good time to like help them in this area or not, blah blah blah. So she pretty much just said like, it's not really like right now I'm seeing it's not the best time to do give you energy healing, but I will contact you when I am told, or energetically, or I feel like it's a good time for you, a good moment in your life. Which was crazy because I was going through a lot at the time that she told me, but I ended up figuring it out on my own and all this stuff like that. So anyways, she messaged me the day before, which was May 6th of the first meetup. And I was like, oh my gosh, she was like, okay, I feel like, it's a good time right now. Are you available in the next week or two? And I was like, actually, I'm available tomorrow. Can you do it? Because tomorrow is the day that I'm actually starting this Healthy Girl Healing spiritual women's group. And thank goodness she was. So I had an energy healing in the morning. It was amazing. It was virtually. And it's crazy because I always never understood how you can do virtual readings and energy healings until I started doing it myself. I don't do healings, but I do readings and even intuitive. And you realize that it's just energy. It's because of energy. It's like that like God, source, your guides are always here. So you don't need to be with the person. The guides and God is, they can see the person through the screen, so they know they're connected, that type of thing energetically. So the person doesn't really have to be here as long as you connect to that person and their guides, you call on to their guide. It's so anyways, the point is whatever. So the session was great. Let's just say that. The biggest thing that stood out, the biggest lesson that I feel like is going to be resonant for what why I'm sharing it with you guys, because there was so many lessons. One thing she told me was that my guides were telling me that my theme for this moment was self-trust. I really needed to start trusting myself because I have been doubting myself and have been rigid in a lot of areas that pertains to, honestly, she said, like my feminine side, which is my left side, which is crazy because I've been experiencing lots of weird pains in my left side for a while. And I've also been going through a lot, like family-wise, which is another part of the third house situation. That's like Uranus and Taurus in my third house. Lots of change in my daily routines, lots of unexpected things happening that connects to my siblings and like my close family that live nearby, which is crazy. But she was just saying how I'm getting in the way of my own growth because I'm not trusting myself. I'm second guessing myself, and I'm getting in my own way. She says you need to get out of your own way and trust yourself. And also you're being rigid when it comes to your creativity. You're trying to create some structure within your creativity, and that's blocking you. You have a lot of blocks in your creativity. You just need to do what feels right and not overthink it. So that's one of the reasons. I mean, that is, the main reason why I'm here today, because one of the things, because then I was like, okay, well, how do I develop self-trust? How do you tell somebody to have self-trust when they're an overthinker, or they, like I have Capricorn in my chart. I have a Capricorn freaking Mercury, and that's literally the way I think. And my thought, I feel like I have to think before I speak, which blocks me sometimes from being able to authentically say what's on my mind in a way that it just flows rather than overthinking everything. But in some ways it's great because then I could think before I speak and get my thoughts together. But when it comes to creatively, it doesn't work because creative is like connecting to your intuition, like just letting it flow. So yeah, that was that. So that's something that I felt like was definitely something I needed to hear and was going to help me be able to communicate better. Because I'm starting to trust what comes out of my mouth and not overthink it. Like, even before I started this video, I already started to have a thought in my head, like, maybe I should write out a script. Maybe I should, because I don't want to forget this, and I don't want to say this the wrong way. And then I remembered, self-trust, whatever that is meant to be spoken, whatever that is meant to touch whoever is watching right now, is what is going to come up. Trust that will, So, yeah. And also tying that to the third house, and literally the full moon, or the new moon connects to my how I communicate. And that moon part of you is like the intuitive part of you, intuitively feeling, speaking or communicating what you feel, that trust in like saying what feels right, and that's you being authentic and, trusting your feelings, and to be able to communicate that and then connect to that on an emotional level with the collective. So that was my first kind of theme. And then she said a lot of things that just connected to Taurus, but I'm just not gonna, anyways. So then moving on, I ended up having my first ever Healthy Girl healing, and I want to cry. Well, first off, I didn't really expect, I was hoping that it was gonna be some people there, okay? To be honest, I did write down that I wanted 100 people to be there. I could go back in time and smack myself right now, because like, I had 2 people that showed up, which I am so grateful for. I could cry right now, because I wrote down that I wanted 100, but then in my mind, you have these self-doubts, and then I was like, well, the self-doubts of, well, what if 0 people come, but I wasn't trying to, like, I had that floating in the back of my head, like, what if no one shows up? And then I was like, well, if no one shows up, I'll still show up for myself, and then I'll record it, and then, whatever. And then we'll wait till the next one. So I've had my little backup plans, and knowing that regardless of if no one shows up, I'm going to show up for myself, because one day there will be a lot of people there. But yeah, I did say 100, and I'm so happy there wasn't 100 people. Like, I would have been happy, but it would have definitely been overwhelming, to say the least, because I had 2 amazing women there. And if you're watching, hey, oh my, ew, that was such a weird, hey, hi, I love you. I know that's quick, but not I love you like that, but I love you like I send my love to you, because my love is my appreciation. And also, I kind of got to know you guys, so I love your spirit, so far from what I can tell. So anyways, but yeah, so but even with the 2 of us or 3 of us, we ended up finishing right on time, and I'm like, oh my, and we were a little bit over our time. So I'm like, if it took until after, because it started at 7, it's supposed to be for an hour and a half. If it took until longer than an hour and a half with just 3 people, I can only imagine if it was 100 people there, like, and we had great conversations too. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, now I have to think about how I'm going to restructure this, because I wanted it to be an open communication and just things, because, so now I feel like I'm going to have to really strategize this if there is a lot of people, which I kind of want it to be a lot of people, because the goal is to connect to people. And I want us to also end up like, I want to challenge each other, at the end of, because it's supposed to be, if you want to know more about it, like, I don't want to like sit here and talk more about it. I will present the link in the description box below for you to learn more. This is not like an advertising video, but it's supposed to allow us, like I said, to communicate and share our stories and our insights, and about, on our spiritual journeys, about astrology, when it comes to our charts, but also the transits. And health, or just getting our dream lives and blah, 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 blah. But then it's also going to be a place where we challenge each other, and I'm actually going to be challenging you to connect with somebody. And I was trying to think, do I want to make the connections? And probably will. I'll just based on like compatibility when it comes to astrologically. I'm going to like pair each other, people together, and you guys have to have a one-to-one like virtual like friend date and like talk and do whatever you would do if you went on a friend date with someone for the first time. And then we're gonna come back and share our experiences, and it's just about like just learning to really connect and build actual friendships that are gonna be like that are going to emulate the Taurus energy of shared values, of pleasure, feeling pleasurable and actual joy, and beauty related, because the women are gonna be beautiful. All of you guys are gonna be beautiful. All you guys already are beautiful. So it's gonna be filled with beautiful, not just from the outside, but from the inside. And you are beautiful. Those that are doing work on themselves are beautifying that, and that souls. The self-care, doing self-care with each other. And also another thing that we do in the group is like doing our own like group rituals. Like we do that whenever we come together. We have like certain things that we always do in certain orders before we start, and blah blah blah. So and also the most important one is reliability. Not most important, but also reliability, and also like grounding ourselves in our connections together, because I want them to be long term. I don't want this to be like a little like, and it's not up to me, and life happens. Sometimes people are in your life for seasons and blah, blah, blah. But I do want it to be like real and authentic and genuine, connection. So I feel like what better way, or what better energy to work with when it comes to like trying to create like actual genuine connections than Taurus, So I did that, and it was great, and I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. We all had a good time. And I'm not just saying that, like they even said that, and I guess I'll find out if everyone, another thing is now the next thing is like, okay, now I have to plan for the next event, which is on the 18th of May. And I'm like, well, I hope they come back. And if they don't come back, did they mean that they didn't like it? But they did, you could tell. And I know I'm really good at reading people's energies. Let me not say this and then they don't even come back on the next thing. But anyways, see, this is the mind and the ego getting to me. But I am grateful. It turned out better than I would have expected it to. We laughed. This is not surprising, but we all shared a lot of similar astrology placements. It was so crazy how our astrology placements like intertwined, and that's the beauty of astrology. Synchronicity, like connecting to the people that are meant for you. And that's one of the things that I did that was one of my intentions, was to connect for people to be there who genuinely, are meant to, and whatever. So another funny thing is, I think this is a cool little astrology like thing. So we are all, the people, all the girls, all three of us were Pisces, or why I say were. All three of us are Pisces risings. I mean, no, sorry, not Pisces rising. All three of us are Pisces Venuses. Is that not crazy? That just makes so much sense. It was just and the energy was very Piscean. It was like, you could just tell, and it was so crazy, because I feel like that's a good, first of all, well, Saturn in Pisces was making a connection to the new moon in Taurus. I think it was sextiling it or something like that. And then also Venus is, wait, I was trying to make some connection. I was going to say that Venus loves to be in Pisces as well. But anyways, well, yeah. Oh, you could say, okay, this is me stretching, and this is me trying to, the astrologer and me trying to make the connections. But the ruler of Pisces is Jupiter traditionally. So okay, you know what, I'm gonna stop. Okay, anyways, moving on. Oh, but no, but on a serious note, I looked at my astrology of that day, what was happening for me personally, and Venus in Taurus was sextiling my Venus in Pisces. Oh, that's the connection, duh. So yeah, Venus in Taurus is sextiling my Venus in Pisces. So that is also very much like you connecting with women, you know, connecting, or feminine connections, or beauty. Like, that was just a perfect, I guess you would call it, transit that involves like collaborating with a group of women, kind of that type of energy. So, or feminine energy and stuff. So that was great. You know, I'm just so, man, you guys don't realize how long, like, I just have so many thoughts. Like I said, I can be here and cry and say how proud first of all, I just want to say how proud I am, because I've had so much. I had to overcome a lot of self-doubt when it came to starting this group, starting this Healthy Girl Healing. I made a lot of sacrifices financially. That's a whole nother conversation. And like, it's like financially, you know, I did like, yeah, anyways, I just made a lot of sacrifices financially, you know, and invested in, when it comes to like investing in this Healthy Girl Healing and group. And it just, you know, and also overcoming a lot of obstacles to even get here. You know, I ended up, literally, when I started it back in April, it took me so long because my grandma, which was the closest person, one of the closest people in my life, passed. I had to take, you know, I had to be there for her. And she lives in California, so I had to fly back like a couple times to be with her, and then she ended up passing, and I had to, and I ended up, you know, obviously I couldn't do anything. I was grieving, you know, and that was a new experience for me, because I have never lost someone close to me before. And it also is like the craziest thing for me is like, the first time I ever lost somebody that was super close to me was literally the person of my life, you know, that meant more to me than anything besides my grandma. And I guess I would say my boyfriend. I mean, not my grandma, my mom, and I guess I would say my boyfriend. You know, I mean, well, you know, well, I'm talking about family, so that's why I said I guess so. But yeah, my mom, yeah. My grandma was like my father. I didn't grow up with my father in my life, because my father is in jail, and that's a whole nother situation. And he's been in there since I've been young, like 2 years old. So I do contact with him, you know, but it's just different. So then that happened, you know, and then this year, when I was actually getting everything together, and really when I was about, like, literally last month during the eclipse, my mom ended up having a cardiac arrest. And that literally felt like an episode 2 of what happened last year with my grandma. And that's something I haven't really shared on this channel. And I don't know if you guys know me, like, taking a break or not posting for a while. That's kind of why I like went like ghost for a while. Besides also the Mercury retrograde. I mean, literally talk about slow downs, like you having to like pause, you know, because I thought I was about to start this bit, you know. It's just crazy how life works. But anyway, so my mom is doing much better, thank God. But yeah, there's been a lot of obstacles, but also I felt like everything happened for a reason, because the timing never felt so right when it comes to now. Like, I feel like May is going to be a month of abundance for not only, like, for all of us, okay? It's such a great time to really, really plant those seeds and actually take, like, you know, writing out your, you know, wishes, but also, most importantly, acting on it, you know, doing those things that, you know, taking that leap of faith, Well, not like, I don't want to say for people like not and what feels right and what makes sense for you. But yeah, like doing something new. Like I imagine, like, maybe the women that came on my, like, joined the women's circle, like they probably didn't know what to expect. It was them doing something that was unexpected. And that's very much the energy of the new moon. Something new that you're doing that you didn't really that's unexpected, or you don't know how to feel about it, and then it ends up being better than you thought, or something like that. So that's like my main new moon story. But then also, on top of me, well, okay, so then that happened. That was like the main thing. But then I ended up the next day really experiencing another part of the new moon. So it is like me creating this women's group. But also, actually, I'm gonna slow down. Well, no, I'm gonna say this part. So I like to look at, I go by whole sign houses, or whole sign, yeah, the housing system and traditional, but I also like to combine it with modern and Placidus. So I always like to lead with whole sign, but then I'll consider Placidus. So if I were to consider Placidus, then technically the new moon in Taurus what happened on 18 degrees of Taurus, which technically would be in my second house of how I make my income, okay? Which still very resonant and spot on, because that's literally a couple of hours after I finished Healthy Girl Healing, the first meetup, which is like great. So does that mean that that's going to be actually, is my whole like plan as far as finally being able to like create my own business that will sustain me, that will allow me to the freedom to live the life, first of all, the freedom to do what I feel like is my purpose, which is helping people, but also allow, like, I need to be able to afford that, and I don't want to waste any of my time doing something that I know isn't for me, and that's like helping someone else or growing someone else's business. Like I've had that in my life. I've done that, and now it's like ready for me to expand myself, and do that through helping others. So yeah, but then the next day, which was yesterday, which is May 9th or May 8th, that's when the real energy, like the Taurus, there was another part of it. So another part is it was a new beginning starting, and this is an intention that I set to really get better at, or be more intentional about my daily life. Slowing down is a major Taurus characteristic that will apply for all of us. Wherever you have Taurus in your chart is where you need to slow down. And if you don't slow down, life events will make you slow down. That's another thing that I learned, okay? And let me tell you, I sure did have a lot of those. And it's just crazy because it's like naturally, and goes back to like understanding the compatibility between your natal moon and the Taurus moon. Naturally, my Aries moon wants to move quick. It's very impulsive. It's very much, oh, I feel it, let me do it now. I need it. No, it needs to happen now, and also I need the results to happen now, as quick as when I did it, and that is not how life works. Plus, if you move quick, you just tire yourself out. You burn out quickly, and there's no structure and whatever. So then the Taurus energy that's when it comes in, and it makes me slow down. Through like certain things. For example, yesterday I was really tired when I woke up. I was exhausted. And maybe it's because I've been so exhausted with like the fact that, what happened with my mom, her having a cardiac arrest, having to be in the hospital for a week, which didn't seem like that long, and thankfully she didn't have to be in there for that long. But there's so much that happened with that. And I had to be there for my siblings, which I have like 4 siblings. So they had to be at my house and with me and my boyfriend, and it was just a lot. First of all, I'm not used to having kids at my, like, that many kids and having to manage and take them to school, and then deal with, like, hoping that our mom was going to be okay. Like, it was just a lot. It was a lot. Also knowing that this thing that I said that was going to happen is coming up, and it's like, I had, and needing to still stick to, somehow in the back of my head, it was like a whisper, like, you still, after this, when your mom got home, thankfully when mom got home and stuff like that, I had like this download that I need to get back to my plan, like, your mom is doing okay, you've been here and watching her and blah, blah, but it goes a lot deeper to, like, my mom's situation, and I don't want to go, that right now, but I made a lot of sacrifices, and I was taking on a lot more than maybe I should have, and it was getting in the way of my potential blessings. So I had to get back. I had to complete what I had started, And I got a lot of signs with that, and I felt that, So literally the week before the Healthy Girl, like last week, I had to tell, my parents that I have to, I've been here and been helping, but I have to commit myself. I have to take this week to be home and not go over there to help. You guys are going to have to, like, my mom is, like, it's more complicated. Trust, it's not like I'm just leaving my mom. It's like, once again, but I needed to, and this is what I even learned in my reading or my healing, like, the lady told me, like, you need to learn boundaries, even when it comes to family. And it's going to hurt, and you don't want to do it, and it's going to feel like you're doing the worst thing, but it's not. A lot of, you're not here to, like, you're on your own path, and once again, you don't want to, there's just, it's deeper. So anyways, I had to commit that week before, and I, like, really OD'd and, like, locked in on, like, creating this and doing everything that I need to do to prepare myself for the first meeting. So nonetheless, I was exhausted when everything was over, kind of, and my body felt it. But then I also, part of me I still had a lot to do, I had to continue, get ready for the next one, and then message the couple, the women there, because I told them that I was going to send them, like, give them a mini reading on, like, the Taurus moon. And there was a bunch of things that I had to do, but my body was telling me, you're tired, rest, take care of yourself. This is, remember that you're supposed to be, like setting your own intention about, like, taking care of your personal needs as well on a daily basis, creating your daily ritual. So, because you can't help others if you're not helping yourself. And that was another thing that I was hearing, but I wasn't listening, and I was trying to do actually I did cook. That was one thing I cooked, because I hadn't eaten, for me, I have to cook a lot of my meals because of all my dietary restrictions, and I hadn't had any, like, food, so I had to go to the grocery store, then I had to cook. And then, like, I hadn't worked at all that day, really. Like, I didn't, like, post or do, get to do what I had to do. And I was, like, trying to do it, and my body was so tired. I just had to surrender and be like, okay, fine. I won't. I feel it. I feel my body telling me, like, no, just rest. And do some self-care for yourself, So I did. After I, ate, after cooking, and then I ate, I went for a walk, which is one of the things that I really want to do more of. I want to be out in nature, because nature is one of the things that I enjoy doing, that makes me feel good. That's a form of my self-care. So I went for a walk. I also took a salt bath. I put Himalayan sea salt in a bath, and I soaked, and it was so nice. So that was a lot of good self-care for me. And then I wrote down, and then I actually worked with the new moon, and I set some intentions. So I wrote down 10 things that I want to manifest, I want to happen from now until the next full moon. So that was good. I was able to actually intentionally work with this new moon and manifest. And then I also wrote down 10 things that I want to, outside of that, wrote down 10 things that I want to incorporate on a weekly basis. If not every day, then every week I need to do all 10 of these things, which are very small. Okay, like I said, it's just certain things like going for a walk or being active for 30 minutes a day or meditating or stuff like that. One of the things I did say was doing more sit down videos and talking like this. And just letting whatever comes to my mind, my mouth just flow, not overthinking it, because even right now I'm like, oh, I've been talking for a long time. Like, is anybody going to sit down to listen to this for this long? And, oh, I'm going to have to edit all of this up and like little cuts it's just, the other overthinker is already thinking. But this feels so good to be able to talk, because this is what I want to be able to do. So why would I show up and post any other videos when that's not even, why would I do anything different than what I want and what feels right? Because whoever watches this video, and if you do enjoy it and you do watch until the end, that means that's a genuine, and you do decide to follow me and or like this video, or I end up getting like people who want to join other people who want to join the Healthy Girl Healing community. They will be genuine people because they watched a video that I actually wanted to do and what resonated with me. So it'll be like people like connecting with people who appreciate the genuine parts of me, if that makes sense, rather than me just posting something that I feel like it's gonna get views but me really not enjoying what I'm posting, if that makes sense. So yeah, moral of the story is Taurus slowed me down, and I'm so grateful because you know why? I woke up this morning. I woke up at 5 a.m. This is the earliest I woken up in, and I don't know how long. Also, I went to sleep early last night. So that was another thing. After I took that bath, man, my body was like, go to sleep. And I slept so good. Yeah. And so I woke up, I told my boyfriend, because I haven't been going to the gym. That's another thing I fell off on because of everything in my life. And I really, really needed to go, like, be active. Like, once again, as an Aries moon and as just a normal human, I was going to say the Aries moon in me likes to be active and likes to work out. It makes me feel good. It releases a lot of like energy and all this stuff. Like, it just feels good for me. So, but everybody should work out rather than, I'm just saying like, me having a fire moon, like I have a lot of energy and me being active releases that. And it just is something I enjoy. Some people may not enjoy working out depending on, whatever, but they know that, but you still should do it in your own way because it's good for your body and your health. But I woke up for the first time in like, I don't even know how long it's been, like a month or two. I don't know, since I've worked out. And that's another thing I want to do consistently. I did that this morning and I felt so rejuvenated. And I felt like, okay, I was able to show up. I wasn't even planning on sitting down today and filming this video. It just came up organically, intuitively. I felt like, okay, sit down and share your journey. First of all, I did say that I wanted to do work today, but then I asked myself, what's the first thing? Like, what do I want to do first? And what came to me was film a video. Okay, what kind of video do I want to record? Sharing your experience, just talking. And so I am trusting that. I'm trusting what myself told me to. And I feel good. So the moon in Taurus is asking us to create or start something new in our lives that helps us find the joy that causes us to slow down and find the joy in doing whatever we're doing. For example, I can't find joy in, even if I'm doing this Healthy Girl Healing group, I'm not going to be able to enjoy it if I'm not taking care of myself and I'm exhausted. You know, how am I going to be able to show up in the energy? And that's like me being like the people that I told you about, how there's a lot of people who are like healers, and there's a lot of people out here healing people, but they're not even doing the work on themselves. So that would be like me. If I'm not doing this work on myself every day and putting myself first and my self-care first and everything like that, and then I'm going on camera and telling others to do that, like I felt kind of like that yesterday. I thought about that. It was like, well, you're trying to go against what naturally your body is telling you to do. And you literally just posted a picture of the card, of some oracle cards that you pulled, when God was telling you, or spirit was telling you, like it literally said body talk and feeding your spirit. And you're not doing, have you done any of those things? No, ma'am, you haven't. So I had this in my head, and I was like, but I was still, sometimes, you get in your own way. That's another thing, getting in your own way. But then I resisted, I was like, okay, yes, like I get it. So I did, and I'm grateful because, like I said, now I have the energy. I'm replenished, especially because I woke up this morning and also did my self-care. I did my meditation. I did, and I'm like, okay, now I have the energy to show up and help others. So it's like, what area in your life do you need to slow down? Oh, also, another thing is like, if I'm going to be doing this, like this healthy girl healing, I'm going to also want to be able to enjoy it. Oh yeah, that's what I said. So it's like creating, planting the seeds that we want to grow, but also learning how we're going to show up every day to plant those seeds. And how am I going to show up every day to grow this healthy girl healing, to improve on my communication? How am I going to be able to do that and sustain it for the long term? And that's by making sure I'm enjoying the process of it. And that's me. And because it's my daily life, it's like, even though I want to work from home and be my own business person, even if it gives me like, I get my goals, it over exceeds my goals when it comes to like being able to, have me live the life that I want and not have to rely on like, you know what I mean? Like financially it fulfills it, gets me to ability to where I can do this and not worry about money and stuff like that. If I'm not enjoying it because I'm literally spending all my time in my day just focusing on that and not focusing on my self-care and slowing down and focusing on my self-care and actually enjoying it, then how am I going to be able, I'm not even going to end up enjoying it because I'm going to burn out. I'm going to burn myself out. And then it's going to crash and, so it's like me establishing balance. And also, to be able to, or routines, these rituals and these habits that I do, and these, to make sure that I show up. And first, self-care. Okay, and enjoy it and doing things. How am I going to how am I going to create this new goal? Or how can I create good experiences or show up every day? How can I accomplish this goal but make it pleasurable for myself, So yeah, I hope any of that makes sense. So, yeah. And I'm going to do that because I'm going to continue doing my daily rituals so then I can feel good enough. That's going to make me enjoy my days, because as much as I love working, I know that if I just wake up and get straight to work, which I can do, which I have done in the past, and then I go to sleep and I do work until I go to sleep, I have no boundaries as far as, this is the cutoff time. Because, when you're running your own business, you also have to set times for yourself. And I've had so many times where I've woke up, went straight to work, and stayed. Okay. And also another little astrology hack is that, and I got this from, and I should have known, but I was listening to the Astrology podcast, which is a great, great podcast to go to for real professional. Not saying that I'm not professional, but I'm more of a, I want to talk about astrology through experiences. But if you want like the more like teacher-esque type of thing, like, and people that I've used to learn about my astrology, and that's the Astrology podcast. But they're just pretty much saying that whatever you experience during the Jupiter and Taurus, the Jupiter, Uranus, and Taurus conjunction, which was like weeks ago. I forget what day that was. I wish I knew what day that was. Shoot. Okay, well, I'm not pretty much planning on doing any edits on this video. It's just going to be a whole long me of just talking, most likely. So let me see when the Taurus... Because whatever you were doing, whatever happened around that time or on that day, you would be most likely be experiencing similar things or a continuation of whatever happened for you around that time. So that's another thing to note. Like, think back to, oh, there we go. Think back to April 20th. What happened or what was going on around that time in your life? Most likely it'll have something to do with what happened to you during the new moon in Taurus. So yeah, planting seeds, starting something new, doing something different, connecting to those Taurus, to your values, figuring out, slowing down in the area of our lives that have to do with Taurus, planting seeds, all that, growing something, figuring out how you can do whatever that you're trying to do, but make it enjoyable and pleasurable for yourself as well. Making sure you're still taking care of your basic needs. And like I said, you're living according to your values. You're doing whatever you're trying to do, and it's aligned to your values, So I hope all that makes sense. I have been talking for a long time. I didn't expect for this video to be this long, but I think I'm going to end up with one more thing. I thought it would be really fun to read, because this is the beauty of documenting everything. I want to read my journal entry of the last the big Taurus moon that we had, which was the full moon in Taurus, okay? I want to see if there's any connections, because 9 times out of 10, there's usually, literally this kind of similar energy. It was a full moon instead of a new moon, but we're still working with the Taurus energy, and it happened in the same area of my chart. So I want to see if there's any connections. So let's read. Okay, so the Taurus, the Taurus full moon in Taurus happened on October 28th. It was actually an eclipse too, so it was kind of a different definitely kind of a different kind of energy. But we'll read on, and I'm gonna read October 28th, and then I have another entry on October 30th. I'm gonna read both, and let's just see if there's any similar connections to what I've shared today. Okay, October 28th, 2023. Today is the day of the lunar eclipse in Taurus. I believe it starts at 4:25-ish. Last night, I was using my grandmother's phone to film, and after I found myself looking through her pictures, which is her phone that I got because when she passed, I ended up keeping her phone. Not to use, but to just have as just, I felt like who better to have it, and it has like pictures and stuff. I said, and of course, when I started looking through the pictures, I started to get emotional. It was as if I had turned on the faucet to my emotions, because the tears were flowing and releasing a lot. So much so that I had to tell my boyfriend that I was having a moment. So that was interesting. I just miss her. Sometimes I wish I would have hugged her more. I guess the hardest part is thinking about all of the things I wish I would have done more of when she was here. It also reminded me that I needed to call my great grandma and my grandma's boyfriend that she had, and even her sister. I feel like if I feel this way, I feel like if I still feel this way, I need to check on everyone because I'm not the only one who probably feels this way. Also, my meditation was okay. I didn't want to go too deep this morning. I feel like some of my fears were coming through, and I was battling what were my own thoughts and what was my fear talking. I kept feeling like I can't let my fears control me or stop me, but it's so hard when the world is going through a tough time, because that was when there was a lot of, that was when a major world event happened. If you know, you know. I don't want to get, I don't know how I don't want to get demonetized. Not that I'm monetized, but you know how YouTube is very particular about certain words, but you should all know what happened last October. Okay, anyways, if you don't, not saying that you should, but if you're tapped in and you watch the news, then you would know. I also strangely felt like I sensed a bit of the collective energy, maybe. When I was meditating, I felt like fighting and tussling came through. I'm trying to decide if I should get my little sister, or if I should go pick her up, or wait until next week. I guess because maybe I was supposed to maybe pick her up to go play with her and hang out with her. I guess we'll see what happens. I kind of don't want to be out during a full moon and an eclipse. I guess I have until 4:00 to make that decision. I need to call my siblings too and my mom. Okay, so that's the first one. The second, let's read the second one. Okay, let's read October 30th. This weekend, I kind of surrendered and prioritized downtime and rest. You hear those words, right? This weekend, I kind of surrendered and prioritized downtime and rest. Kind of. I took a break from being in work mode, and it felt kind of good. It wasn't easy because every bone in my body was telling me I need to at least post something on social media, or at least edit something, a video, but I put myself first. Kind of. I say kind of because I would have liked to be resting in my bed majority of the weekend, but I didn't. I decided to embrace the lesson/message of the Taurus eclipse and prioritize eating healthy again, practicing slow and peacefulness. I made and ate a salad for the first time. And, that was my first time eating a salad. I meant, I don't usually eat, I hadn't usually eaten salads. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. One thing that I want to do is break, anyways, okay, I'm going to just move on. But at the time, even with me, it's crazy because people think that just because you're a vegan or plant-based that you probably eat a lot of salads. And it's funny because up until literally this day, October 30th, I hadn't eaten a salad. I just never did that on my journey, which was actually a problem for me, which is why I was an unhealthy plant-based person, and which that is possible, so, and I ended up, there was a lot that happened in between here and now I eat salads majority of, a lot, let's just say that. My life has changed when it comes to that, but anyways, I said, it felt so good. It felt as though my body was thanking me. I went to the grocery store, which I needed to go to again, and invested in my health. I spent some quality time with my boyfriend. Funny enough, we watched a movie called The Menu, and it was a thriller about food. Taurus theme, hint, hint. Now that I think about it, it was giving very much Taurus. Food, comfort, high values, and Scorpio, death, fear. Because, I said Scorpio because Scorpio was the end, is opposite Taurus. And when you're thinking about eclipses, Taurus is like, Taurus and Taurus and Scorpio is connected when you're referring to eclipses. You're supposed to look at your Taurus house. Anyways, okay. So after fully dissecting the Taurus eclipse, I feel like I finally understand the lesson that I needed to gain, and that's to make time to prioritize my self, my peace, my values, which should be to live a peaceful life where I'm listening to my body, oh my gosh, and taking care of what I consume in my day-to-day life, which ties to food and what I'm consuming on a daily basis. On social media, advice, etc. Oh, on like what I'm consuming on a day-to-day basis, even like when it comes to like social media, like what I'm listening to. Peace and being stable mentally will benefit me in my work/projects, because that's how I prevent burnout. Oh my, that's what I just said. So remember to embrace Tauran energy weekly. I'm sorry. I'm starting to write fast, so I'm not even knowing. This is the thing about journaling. Sometimes I start writing in chicken scratch, and I don't know. Hopefully I'll be able to finish. It says, slower pace and peaceful living will benefit me greatly. The Scorpio is getting over my fears if I'm not moving fast enough, and I will fall. Or Scorpio is also me grieving my old values and forms of communication. My old projects and day-to-day living, and even old friendships. It's had a lot that I've had to let that go because of what is... Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this. I'm so sad. Although because of what is it gonna bring me, but this... Okay, I can't even read the rest, to be honest. Okay. Okay, nope, I can't read the rest, but I mean, that was enough for us to be like, you see the connections? I literally hadn't read this, I promise. I like glimpsed over it like before we started, but I didn't read, and I didn't really fully deep dive into it. I'm literally saying the exact same words and phrases that I said then, and it's just so crazy. So that's why it's important, to journal things. Like, I actually need to catch up because I hadn't even journaled over the past couple of days, and I want to journal it so I can look back on this around, during the full moon in Taurus. Also, what would be fun? Let's see if I took any pictures or videos around that time. That's another thing I like to do. I just like looking back and making connections, because the more aware you are and the more connections you can make, or like the more aware you are of like, that's literally the example of someone asking God like for a sign, or asking for a sign, and you will miss it if you're not like aware, if you're too busy, if you're not slowing down, if you're not present. Or, another thing is you can just document everything and then okay, let's see. October. 28th. Oh wow, I have some videos too. I actually filmed some videos. Ooh, did I screenshot? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I screenshotted a horoscope reading for me that would happen on the I screenshotted my horoscope reading for the date of October 28th. This is what it says. The eclipse is here. Turn off your notifications, evade draining small talk, rest whenever you can. This event is the culmination of a 2-year process of transformation in your communication projects. Excuse me. 2-year, first of all. Okay, I'm just kidding. And landscape of your daily life. Oh my gosh. This is like a proud astrology girl moment for me, because I literally, I just feel like, wow, I actually do, Anyways, any feelings or cravings that arise for you now related to these topics are teaching you a final... Okay, I need to actually stop talking. This video is going to be like 3 freaking hours long. Okay, how to pass the test by resting profusely. Everything you need to know will organically make itself clear to you, so long as you're nourished enough to receive it. Mic drop. The video's over. That is the best way that I can put. Thank you. I would highly recommend one of the apps that I use, the 2 apps that I use to look at my daily transits and give me daily horoscopes that are actually accurate, is the Chani app by Chani Nicholas. Just look up Chani. I'll leave it in the description box below. And if you want that one, you do have to pay for. What they do, I would say try the free trial, because you do get a free trial, because you're gonna love it. And if you want to pay for it after, then you can. I do, but also you can use. There's a free one called Astro.com. So yeah, but the Chani app one combines whole sign or traditional and modern and Placidus, but the other one, Astro, is only Placidus. So this is perfect. Yeah. Wow, and I have some videos, but I don't want to film it. I mean, show it, because I won't be able to show it. I don't know. Maybe I'll add the video. I don't even know. But anyways, so yeah, I've been talking for so long. My throat is hurting. So this is fun. Even if no one watches this was good for me to be reminded that I'm on the right track. And I wouldn't have realized all of this or been here without being intentional. And I don't know. I just am really grateful for this journey that I'm on, and I'm so excited for this Healthy Girl Healing group. And if you would like to join that, like I said, I did tell you, there's a description at the bottom. I'll leave the description to sign up. It is a $22 investment, but it'll be the best investment you made in your life. And it'll bring you a long term of giving, because you will have a big support system, to guide you through and help you on your healing journey, your spiritual journey, and your journey to creating your dream life and everything like that, And hopefully you get to make lifelong connections and never feel alone. I mean, I won't say that. We all have our times, but, you'll be supported. So, yeah. And have people you can go to and talk to and everything like that. So, this was fun. I'm going to do more of this. I will do it. If you do watch until the end, oh my gosh, I would love to know if anybody watching to the end. I may just have to record myself doing a happy dance, because this is a long time. So that if you want to make me feel, if you want to send me the yes, do more of this, you're doing a good job, this is very resonant for me, please comment a heart. And that will literally give me like the confidence to know, like, yes, keep trusting. I'm gonna still trust myself, but that's just validation. If you want to hype me up, like, go girl, keep trusting that intuition, because this was a very resonant video for me, then please leave a heart. But yeah, and maybe you can comment your experiences during the Taurus, or any questions, anything. I want to engage. Like I said, I'm planting this video here, okay? This is the plant, one of the seeds I'm planting to create a big plant of communication, okay? About all areas that I talked about today. Everything that I said in the beginning of this video. Alrighty. I'll see you in the next video. Sending you much love.